Hello, my name's Andrew, and today we're going to do a first impressions review of the magical Chelsea boot. So let's check it out. It's got a medium wide toe box up front, and it's all suede for the upper, so it's extremely flexible, really comfortable casual boot to wear. On the side, it's got a full zipper here, so you can open it all the way up, make it really easy to put on and take it off for errands, or just going out to get the mail, that kind of thing. On the inside, it's got wool felt lining, so it's really nice and warm, but it's not too thick, which is nice because if you're doing casual type of stuff or you're going into a grocery store where it's like 75 degrees or whatever they freaking keep it at these days, your feet aren't gonna sweat like crazy, like in a thicker insulated boot. For the stitching, it is double stitched in the upper, which is great for durability, which you can see there. And then it's also stitched all the way around on the sole, which is great because a lot of winter barefoot boots, if they're just glued, sometimes they can come off eventually, which really sucks because it limits the durability of how long you can use the boot for. One thing that Magical does that some other brands don't do is they have a little bit lower rubber guard here. And what that does is it just creates a ridiculous amount of flexibility. So these are one of the most flexible brands and shoes that I've ever tried. And it's kind of counterbalanced by the tread here though, because you can hear it's got a little bit of a tougher feel to it. Like if you compare it to a lighter type of, you can hear how it's thinner. So I really like that because you've got like maximum flexibility, but then you've also got some durability for going out on trails. Like these feel really good on roads, but then if you go out into some gravel or some rocks or stuff like that, this tread can deal with some of that. You know, it's not like a super aggressive hiking tread where you can take it up and down icy hills or anything like that, but you know, gentle slopes, trails, gravel paths, things like that are all good. Yeah, so one thing that I tried with Magical this time, which I didn't do last time when I tried their other boot, the Alaskan, which I also really like, because it's a thin sole, it's a 6.5 millimeter sole, it can get cold. I mean, any barefoot boot can get cold on the bottom. So Magical actually sells these sheep wool insoles. And it's really cool because I do have wool felt insoles in some of my other boots. But what I really like about this is they have 3 layers. So you've got the wool on top, super thick and puffy for breathability. And then in the middle layer, if we can get this focus, you've got some foam. So it's squishy, but it squishes down to basically nothing. So it doesn't really interfere with the ground feel, you know? And then on the bottom, you've got some space blanket material. So you've got the warmth on the top, a little bit of insulation and padding on the middle layer, and then you've got a heat reflection on the bottom. So it's gonna reflect your body heat back up to you instead of sucking it out of the bottom of the shoe, which is great. So they've got this one, it's a little bit more puffy, and then they've got the same type of thing with just a wool felt. So this is slightly thinner, a little bit more ground feel, but really either or, they're just like so soft and flexible that they don't really interfere that much. And it's just nice for winter because you can take a thin boot like this, which hardly has any insulation in it, and then you can make it really warm. Like I was wearing these out in 10 degrees this morning. It is freaking cold in Rochester, New York right now. But yeah, just a few other details. I really like the logo here. It kind of reminds me of like Lord of the Rings or something. I don't know. I feel like King Theoden when I wear these things. Like these are what he would wear after he comes back from a battle slaying orcs and he just wants to like walk around and just like chill with the Rohirrim. So I don't know, the Magical Alaskan is a great Chelsea boot, and in terms of some alternatives, a slightly lighter boot, although this is extremely light to begin with, would be the Mookie Shoes Chelsea boot. This is a little bit more of like a professional type vibe. You've got the polished black. It's got a 3.5 millimeter sole, so it's very similar to the flexibility of the Magical Chelsea, but it's just a little bit thinner. I wouldn't take this on gravel as much because the Magical Chelsea has a little bit more durable sole, whereas this is very, very minimal. So I would keep this for roads mostly or indoor professional use. Also has wool lining that's very similar to Magical's. And the toe box is pretty similar. I think the Magical Chelsea gets a little bit pointy just towards the very tip of the boot, but it's gonna fit most medium width type feet. So that's the Mookie shoes. And then another good option would be the Isla Chelsea boot. This has a little bit more of a firm feel to it. Definitely you can hear the sole. It's got a 4mm sole, so ground feel and flexibility is still really good, but you can just see that it has a little bit of firmness to it. So this is another one kind of like Magical Chelsea where you can take it out on some light trails. Doesn't have a lot of grip, but you know, if you're just going on gentle slopes and stuff like that and roads, light gravel paths, it's fine. It's also got a leather upper, and it's a little bit more structured. You can see the kind of like, unlike the Magical shoes, which is a very soft suede, this has a little bit more structure to it. So I kind of find the Magical Chelsea to be a little bit more comfortable. It's just, you know, it's a little bit softer. It feels a little bit more like you're not wearing anything at all. And the Isla is a little bit more protective, but you do sacrifice a little bit of flexibility. And then, you know, it's got your typical slip-in Chelsea elastic on the sides. So yeah, those are some good options for Barefoot Chelsea boots, and there are others which you can find at my website, barefootwear.org. I'll put a link below to a list for that. And when I've done some more testing, I'll do a full review on the Magical Chelsea boot. But in the meantime, if you have any questions on it or about barefoot shoes in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.